Greetings, family. It is about 2:23 in the morning here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I know that for many of my followers on social media and my family on social media are in many different parts of the world. And so you know that if I'm bringing a broadcast at this time of the morning, it must be serious business. And it is. It has everything to do with my daughter. And so I come to you tonight asking you, or actually I should say this morning, asking you to have an open heart and an open mind about what I'm going to share with you today. I want to start by saying that my daughter, my firstborn daughter, is an amazing woman. She's an amazing woman. I want to also start out by saying, before you get any further into the video that you're going to see in a moment, that you know it's going to be about 2.5 hours of a video. And I want you to really, really, for the love of God, please take time to listen to this entire video, because my family, we need your help. And we need your help because, number 3, my daughter is not a criminal. She's not a criminal. And I have struggled with going public with this for a long time. But silence is not golden. And I want to let everybody know that silence is not golden. Yes, you go to the movie theaters and they tell you silence is golden. But I want you to know that being silent is not golden. Silence is not okay. And it goes against the very grain of who I am and everything that I've gone through in my life of being quiet. This is not a matter of my daughter needing any type of accommodation from anyone. It's about justice. It's about what's right. And what is being happening to my daughter right now is not right. It is not right. There's a series of events that have happened from October 3rd of 2022 until today. And I assure you that there are so many lies that are going on in this system that we call justice, this system that is supposed to protect and serve. It is happening all around the world. And I guarantee you, if you don't take a stand, and if you don't speak up, and if you don't be the voice for the voiceless, it could easily happen to any one of you. It could easily happen to any one of you. And so I'm asking you to please take some time, watch this video, get to know my daughter for who she is. She is an amazing woman of high integrity. Is she perfect? Absolutely not. Are you? Absolutely not. But I will tell you that there is some injustice that is going on in this system, and people are allowing it to continue to go on, including judges and including district attorneys. They're allowing policy enforcers, which you call them police officers, to lie, cheat, and steal, and still continue to keep their jobs, while they will take something and just blow it up to further slaverize young minority women and men. It needs to stop. It needs to stop. My daughter, Adeyinka Kayla Celestin Bay, is not a criminal. She is not. She has been set up. She has been lied on. And now they have the unmitigated gall to schedule a hearing on a Friday. We all know what that means. I fully believe that there's something that is trying to come of this. And I want to tell you, it is not justice. It is not justice. It is not justice. Her case it was closed and then it was reopened. And there are complete lies on my daughter's case. Complete lies. Complete lies. I don't even know how anybody in their right mind can allow something like this to happen and think it's okay. And so I have to expose it as a parent. As a parent, I have to expose it. If it was your child that you know is an amazing man or woman of God, you would stand up, I believe, and you would fight as well, like I'm about to fight. Listen, I may not have all the money. I may not have all of the non-melanation in my skin. But one thing I know is that I'm a child of God, and so is my daughter. And she is not perfect, but she is not a criminal. She's not. And she's being made out to be. This is injustice, and it has to stop. We're allowing people to lie on our family members. We're allowing people to trump up charges on them. And then just because you took an oath to what you think is the law, you believe that you can bully people and lie on people and completely uproot their lives and make them out to be something that they are not. I say you can't do that. And for those of you who stand around at the water cooler and stand around, after hours and have drinks with these people that you knowingly know that they're lying on your family members and trying to make them out to be something they are not, I consider it to be a public or a private lynching. Either way, it is wrong. You are just as guilty as the individuals who have done these things. There are reports that weren't filed. There are lies that were told. There are charges that were added and narratives that were created that are not true. And they make it out to be what they wanted to be made out to in order to protect their lies and their bullies and their corruption. That's what they do. It's not right. It is not right. And I pray that many of you who see this video will look at my daughter for who she is, an amazing woman of God who is not a criminal, who has a 9-10 year business that has helped people all around the world, that she has a strong sense of authority and a strong sense of integrity and conviction for the truth. She believes in human rights. She believes in human rights. She believes in human rights. And she is not the woman that's going to sit around and expect and allow, not expect, but allow someone to make her out to be a criminal when she's not. There's a cause and effect in this world. There's a cause and effect. And I ask this justice system to figure out, what are you causing? What are you doing? How can you make this right? It is not right. It is not right. And I'm expecting district attorneys to at least do the right thing. Yes, you politic to get your agendas across and to get your votes and all of that stuff. But once you're in office, the people don't matter to you anymore. All matters to you is the vote. Justice doesn't matter to you anymore. Because if it did, every case that came across your desk when that person did not have a criminal record, you would make sure that all T's were crossed and all I's were dotted if you truly cared about the people. But you don't. You care about your vote. I don't even know how you can sleep at night knowing that you are trying to destroy the life and the family of good people. I don't know how you do it. May the Lord forgive you. May God have mercy upon each and every one of you. Now, as a broadcaster, I'm about to share this video. And yes, I'm going to pause occasionally. It is 2 hours and 20 minutes. But you will get an opportunity to know my daughter for who she is. And you will get an opportunity to hear her side of the story in the event that whatever their little sad plan is, whatever it is, goes in their favor. But we know who the ultimate judge is. It's not you, mister. It's not. The ultimate judge is God. And I say that justice will be served. there, family. Welcome to Empowered Woman. This is our new podcast series, and it is themed Just Be Honest About It. And I'm going to tell you something. I am super stoked about interviewing this amazing queen. Her name is Adeyinka Kayla Celestin Bay, and she is with us on today. And y'all, come on, give her some whoop whoop. Everybody out there, yay!
I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy for you to be here. Yes. We got a lot to talk about. Yes. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know, I'm telling you, Adeyinka is a business owner. She is a mother of Sophie, her amazing pet.
And Isis.
And, let's not forget Isis. That's right. Isis, the cat. Yes. I love it. And she's done a lot in the community, both locally and globally. And when I say a lot, I know that sounds very general, but I mean just really helping individuals have a healthier life, both physically, mentally, spiritually, and socially. And so for me, it's a privilege to be able to sit here right next to her and talk to her, because she's had some pretty devastating things happen in her life over the last year. Okay. And we want to just be honest about it here on the Empowered Woman TV show. And so, yes, it's not going to be traditional. It's not the 28 minutes and 30 seconds you normally get from me on the TV show, because we are using the podcast as a platform to really be able to do a deep dive into her life and what's happened, most importantly, in the last, I would say, maybe 9 months of her life that has completely turned. It's been devastating for her and for her family. And there's so much to learn from what she has gone through in this short period of time. Okay. And so listen, like I said, I could talk about the intro for probably 30 minutes, y'all. But I'm not, because the most important thing is that we get her story. So I definitely want to start, Adeyinka, first of all, and just finding out about you. Like who is Adeyinka Kayla Celestin Bay? Tell us about you. You live in Georgia. Yes. Okay. Tell me about
domicile in Georgia.
Excusez-moi. That's right. Yes. She domiciles in Georgia.
Yes.
Georgia. Okay.
Republic territory.
Republic territory. You heard that. I don't know what that means.
On the private side.
On the private side. That means as opposed to what?
Public. Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that before I ask you some other questions. What does that mean?
The best way I can sum it up is Beyonce. Okay, Beyonce is.
If you put a ring, that's all I can think. Is it put a ring on it? I got a ring.
Think about it. Beyonce. You only know really about her life when she's singing. That's her public side, right?
Okay.
But her home life is her private side. You don't know nothing that's going on with her.
Right.
In the private side. You don't know anything about her. Really. We don't know how she sleeps. We don't know how she looks without makeup. We don't really know anything. You know, we don't know how she looks without the hair on. You know, wow. She lives in the private. But her public side, Beyonce, how can I say this? Her artistry is in the public.
In the entertainment
world. Her entertainment, yes. In the entertainment world, she's public. So when we say public and private, a lot of our people don't understand how really important it is to get your private lifestyle secure. Okay. A lot of our, I would say, our skin folk, okay,
our melanated.
No, not our melanin. The other skin folk, okay,
the non-melanated.
Yes,
folk.
The non-melanated. You would notice that a lot of them are in the private. They live under trust. Everything they do is under trust,
and that's how you live.
That's how I live. Yes. Okay. Under trust, covered by trust, secured under trust. Yes.
Okay. And so your private is private. So you don't, and help me understand if and make sure I'm on the right track. So you're being private and public means there's a line of demarcation. There's a solid line there.
There's a solid line.
There's no crossover, right? Am I right?
Public and private cannot mix.
Cannot mix.
There's
like
no way.
Water kind of thing.
There's no way they can mix. One thing that a lot of, and I know this is gonna catch a lot of people's attention, is sovereign citizen. Okay, we were born sovereign. Okay, but to be a citizen is to be in the public. Okay, that means you establish a citizenship with a public possession territory. Okay, but when you're sovereign, you're standing under Allah, under God. Okay, you're already born sovereign. Sovereign citizen. Okay, that's public and private. Okay, you can't be a sovereign and you cannot be a citizen at the same time. It's either or.
Either or.
Yes.
And you've been in the either.
I've been
in the or. You've been in one of them, but not both of them. How about that?
Yes. Now I'm in a complete I'm in my complete sovereignty now.
Okay.
I'm
private.
Private in the private.
For how long?
I would say now probably 5-6 years.
Wow. Okay. And you've been operating as a private. It's not private citizen because citizen is public, correct?
A sovereign national.
Sovereign. You heard that here. Now, let me tell you why I keep saying that, because there's a whole lot of you heard that here on My Power Woman. Is that there's so much self-made out there controversy when people want to take something and just twist it and wring it and beat it all the wrong, just to take things completely out of context, completely drag out the meaning to distract from the truth of who you really are, right. and your collabs, okay, your colleagues, if I should say, and they will make it seem like you are something that you're not. I've heard a lot. I'm so glad you said that. I've heard a lot. Sovereign citizen, they're terrorists, they are paper terrorists, and they have, because of their lack of understanding, because they say understanding, because of their lack of understanding, understanding, whatever it is, their lack of knowledge, they have taken who you are in the private instead of really trying to understand it and get clarity on it. And they're like trying to drag you through something that you're not.
No, let me
to
say
distract
this.
you, distract you, or distract others from what the real issues are at hand.
Let me say this. No, I don't agree.
Okay, talk to me.
I want to say that they do know. They do know that we are sovereign. Okay. The reason why they are dragging, or what they're dragging, is because at first there's a contract. It's called the birth certificate. Okay. That contract makes you a citizen of theirs. Okay. Now, only if you claim to be in that contract,
which is
public, are you a citizen of theirs? Okay. But you were never that contract. You didn't even sign it.
I was about to say, how I'm supposed to know about that? I claimed it because my mama claimed it.
But you never claimed. You never signed out. Your signature, your autograph is nowhere on that contract.
But my mama's was. What
and let me. Well, actually, technically, her autograph is not on that contract. Okay, if you look at your birth certificate, your contract, the mother and father's autograph is not on that birth certificate at all. However, there was a registration started. Okay, when they registered your birth, when the registrar comes in, you'll notice in the hospital when the registrar comes in and start taking. That's exactly what happened. However, the mother and the father, because you were going through something so extravagant, so beautiful, so overwhelming,
so traumatic,
as traumatic as childbirth. Yeah. At that point, she's under, or they are under threat duress, and coercion. They can't think and function at that time for somebody to come in and say, sign your child's name here, put them here, their nativity, you sign here, he signs here, you know, even cutting the umbilical cord without you even knowing or them explaining about cutting the umbilical cord. You don't know you're cutting the life from your child. You're stopping those veins, that tree of life, from coming back into the child, you know? So, you know, it's a lot of things that they, you know, under threat, duress, and coercion, because that's exactly what it is, that you have been bamboozled. Okay. You have been hoodwinked. Yes.
You have been tricked.
Yes, and they have never gave you full disclosure. Enslaved. And that's something that you can always challenge. The parents can always challenge. And let me say this, not parents, okay? Mother, father, parents, you can't think about it. Parents. The pair renting their children. They want you to call them parents, okay?
This is etymology 101.
Yes, let's
you know what, Miss Adenika?
Just be honest about it, okay?
Adenika.
I'm going to take you everywhere.
I am starting to have flashbacks of a conversation that I had with an amazing queen by the name of Nicolian.
Yes.
And do you know her?
Yes, I know her.
Well, I'm glad you know her.
Yes, beautiful soul.
You know her very well.
I know her very well.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to bring y'all together because this right here, y'all, they working me. I mean, like working me. Like... 1, 2, like you know, y'all working me. It's because there's like a whole bunch that you said that we could probably take into 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 different series of these podcasts. And so and I am going to ask her to come back. I'm telling y'all now, because she has said about 10 things, and I gave you a round number, it's probably 15 to 17. Okay, that I know we need to go a deeper dive into, in order for people to halfway wrap their mind around. I mean, you don't went from, I'm not even going to do it, because if I do it, we're going to go to it. So let's do this. So you are in the private. You've been in the private. Mm-hmm. You are sovereign national, not sovereign citizen.
I am a descendant of God. I'm a descendant of Allah.
Did she say that with some power? Whoa!
Yes.
Wow.
I'm a Moor. Okay.
That is who she is.
A Moor is nothing but saying, I am that I am. I am a manifestation of God in the flesh.
Yay! That's what I'm talking about. I see the audience over there clapping silently. Y'all can clap loud. That's all. That is awesome. And that is what, now tell me a little bit more, if you can, briefly, because I know we got a lot to talk about, a lot. Where can people find more information about what it is to be a Moor and why?
Well, we do have a website. It's called theamena.org, and that's THEAMENA.org. Again, THEAMENA.org.
Awesome. Okay.
And it has a plethora of information of learning who we are. We are not what they have told us we are.
Wow.
It's time for us to wake up. Be honest about it.
Just be honest about it. Wake up. Yeah. Just be honest. We need to wake up. Some of us walking around here sleepwalking, walking dead, all that. And yeah, I mean, real talk. I mean, and I will say that I'm one of those individuals, like I told y'all, you ain't got nothing on me, because I'm going to be very transparent with you and direct. I mean, I myself had both feet over in this side on that side for a while, until I began to be enlightened by queens like Adeyinka Celestin Bay and sisters like Queen Nicolian. And so, and many, many others. And so now I can honestly say I got like maybe a couple of toes over here, and I'm still, opening up my mind and heart to really understand. So I really thank you for at least being patient with us who really don't quite get it or don't want to get it, because it feels like you've been brainwashed, which we have.
You're in the Matrix. You know,
is that the red pill and the blue?
Yes. You remember how hard it was for him to transfer us out of the matrix? That's exactly what we're going through. They made something,
wow,
a reality for you that is not. You have to question that reality. You have to question everything, you know. And I think the one thing that has frustrated me about my people when it comes to this information, it's the hesitancy, it's the multiple questioning on your rights. Just knowing that you did not come off no boats. You've been here. This is your land. You know, they don't want you to think that they brought you over here because this is the land of milk and honey.
You are woke.
I would say, or my third eye is definitely open.
You're definitely woke. And so they can get more information on the site, mm-hmm. and how to contact you. Is that on the site as well? Yeah. Would you be open to answering questions for individuals?
Absolutely.
And is that a service that you offer?
Absolutely. I help, you know, if you're dealing with court cases, things with these crazy system policy enforcers. Mm-hmm. Yes, I help you. I give consultations on how you can, you know, get yourself out of those things, you know, the right way.
The right way. You know, we always have to kind of add that for those of y'all who said, oh, I told you, you know, they just want to be able to get away with doing this and that. No, that is not what this is. That is not who these women and men that I have talked to. I was too, like many of you, that was really thinking that these were individuals that were just wanting to get away with doing, you know, they're squatters and they're this. You have all this jacked up stuff in your mind because people are trying to, and I was that one. People are trying to confuse us so that we will not wake up, right? Even if you wake up a little bit, you know, your eyes a little bit like this is better than not at all. It's better than being closed. Okay. Right. So I'm so excited that you added that without me even having to ask her, like, does that mean blah, blah, ABC 1, 2, 3? She said it. So the right way. It's the right way. And would it be safe to say that, much like when I was talking to another young lady, that you're not saying that you're trying to overthrow anything. You're just trying to, it needs to be right. It needs to be free. It needs to be
people
fair.
have the right to overthrow the government if the government is doing things malicious, acting in malfeasance. You know, they have to go. You know, we can't allow people to run our land and they are in dishonor. You know, it's no way to. No, because think about all the other countries or other nations that's looking at us. It makes them mad. That starts war. Wow. Because we are just allowing these people to do whatever they want to do, say whatever they want to say,
treat people how they want to treat people,
spend billions of currency to start wars, to fund wars. You know, it's sometimes something has to stop, you know. So it's not us overthrowing the government, you know. First and foremost, we have to constitute what is government. Okay,
here we go.
We can't allow someone just to call themselves government without asking, where did you derive your authority from?
What does that mean?
Where do you derive your authority from? Where does
Who
it
says
say,
you're the boss?
Who says you're the boss?
You don't have to translate this stuff.
Yes. By what authority do you have to call yourselves government over me? Because government literally means to govern one's mental. Okay? Where did I say that you can govern my mind? Okay, it can be a group of people to say I want them to govern my mind, but where's the contract that says I wanted you to govern my mind? Okay. So and we also gotta, again, like I said, constitute. Think about the Constitution. If we want to be honest, the real de jure government of the United States of America adjourned sine die in 1861. So the government that's acting or posing as the de jure government is not that. That's an administrative. That's the executive government. That's a corporation. And they tell you, they put it all in your face. If you go to Title 28, I want to say 3001, Title 18. Yep. I think that's what scripture stuff. Yeah. It says United States, USC, it's in their own code. It says that they are United States means a federal corporation. Yeah.
Now, I done heard this a couple of times.
They actually have a DUNS number. They have an EIN number, just like you do when you open up your business.
But are they supposed to?
They have articles of incorporation.
Are they supposed to, though? Like,
no, not if they're government. They're supposed to be just sovereign. Not supposed to have an EIN number. EIN numbers are for what?
Do you do workshops?
Yes, I do workshops. However,
consultations, individual consultations.
Yes, I do individual consultations.
Y'all gonna need that. I'm gonna need it.
I'm telling you, go to that website, theamina.org. The tab that says more knowledge. Study yourself, study your opponent. Study yourself, study your opponent. Those are the two tabs that you want to focus on with learning. Everything that I'm saying right now can be pulled up
and verified.
And verified.
Outside of the website.
Outside of
with verifiable resources.
Verifiable resources.
Honorable resources.
Absolutely.
Because you can just go start Googling stuff and think what you see that come up first is law, and it's not. So it has to be a true verifiable resource, right? Mm-hmm. Let me rewind, because you have yet to say another 20. You have said another, I'm giving round numbers, y'all, but she doesn't say about 20, 25 things that could be 20, 25 more series.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
You gotta go further down the rabbit hole with me. Okay, I'm gonna suck you
and it's
up.
A party down there.
It's freedom down there.
Woo!
It's sovereignty down there. It's knowledge. It's wisdom. It's you.
And
down
you've been
there.
doing this for 5 years, in and out. You get it. You're woke, and okay. What do you do for a hobby? What's your path? What do you do for fun?
I'm a healer.
That's what you do for fun.
That's what I do for fun. I love to heal. I love to heal people. I love to heal things. I love herbs. I love making teas. I love doing sound bowl therapy.
You're an herbalist.
I'm an herbalist. Yes.
For how many years?
About 8 years now.
Oh, wow. And so you've been, I love your product, by the way. I'm asking the questions for everybody else. I already know the answers. But you, as it relates to healing, you're healing individuals where? What type of your product is used to heal people where? Is it
with everything, anything? You're dealing with high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, edema, fibromyalgia, anything, STDs. I have the remedy for you. All natural.
That crosses all generations.
And it works. It definitely works. It works. I use the reason why it works. I can't take all of the credit. I have to give it all to Allah. He puts everything. God puts everything here that we need.
Wow.
So it's just mixing the concoction. Whatever they tell me.
Customization of.
Yep. You let me know what's going on. I go talk to Allah and get the herbs, put them together, mix it up, send it to you, or whatever you need. Capsule it.
Is it liquefied too?
It's liquefied and
capsules, all that. Wow. And how can they find out more about that's your passion? That's also your business.
Yes, it's called Ebony Healing.
Okay.
Ebony Healing, or a new me, where a new you through a new us is a new me.
Inumi. How did you come up with Inumi?
It's immune spelled backwards. We're reversing the effects of the immune.
Wow. And we need some of that with all this other concoction that's going on out here. Wow. So you would say that is your passion. That's something you do in your pastime. So you're like, that means as an entrepreneur, it's not really work for you. Because it's something you love to do.
I love to do.
So you said sound bowls.
I like sound bowl, Reiki healing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I teach people how to meditate as well.
And children.
Children. I love children. If you have any autistic children, I love working with autistic children.
Oh, wow.
So please, you can book online if you would like one-on-one with your child. I'd love to work with them.
Wow.
I would love to work.
Wow. I mean, that's got to be a very rewarding.
Oh yes. So
you sleep really good at night, don't you?
Yes.
Because I mean, you're helping people, and it's what you said in your like downtime, off time, pastime.
Oh yeah, it's really no off time. I'm still doing. Anytime any of my clients could call me. We'll be on the phone for hours. Me just talking to them, just life coaching. Whatever. I'm here for my clients. I love people to be healthy, happy, and healed.
And live long.
And live
I remember
long.
you saying that.
Yes. With so much going on in the world and all the stuff they put in our food, the air, our water, at least we can do is help each other, live better, live longer, live smarter.
Wow. And your dog, Sophie, how old is she? Speaking of live longer.
Sophie is 108.
According to what the world says about
dogs. Yeah, she's 108 now, and I do sound bowl on her. I do some Reiki healing on her.
Sea moss.
I give my dog sea moss, and she'll get to moving and strutting and everything after I give her that sea moss.
She's been stretching out those arthritis. I think you were telling me she has arthritis a little bit, and that kind of helps her. Bless her heart. And when I heard that story about you, it warms my heart because there's so many people that claim to be dog lovers, and I'm not passing judgment on you. I'm just saying, you're so quick to put your pet to sleep when they get older. You really don't know what they're experiencing, even though some doctor might say, oh, they're experiencing tons of pain. I mean, like, how did they know? Did the dog tell them? I mean,
And let me say this. They actually counted her out. They told me she was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. And they told me, they told me she only had 2 years. Dogs with Crohn's usually only live for 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Their life expectancy after they've been diagnosed. And that was 6 years ago. So she's
come on, God.
And she's still strutting.
Yeah, she's strutting.
She got some issues, but she's still strutting. She doing her thing. So that, like I said, don't count your dog out. Just give them some things, change your diet. Give them some tea, give them some love.
Be patient with them. I love it. Yeah. That is awesome. Listen, we had a lot more to talk about, and the table is about to be turned over in a minute. So I'm going to tell y'all again, whatever you got to do, don't touch that dial, okay? But you better be back in about a minute and a half, because I've got some questions for Miss Adeyinka Kayla Celestin Bay that are life-changing, and it's something you want to hear about, because guess what? It could happen in your home at any second. At any second, what happened to her can happen to you. All right? So you want to be here to listen and hear what happened, what's happening, okay? And to get more knowledge, Moor, knowledge from Adeyinka Kayla Celestin Bay. Living life, feeling good inside.
ask me why, it ain't no surprise. We got the tea, good for you and me. Kings and queens, check out Ebony. Cancer, diabetes, STDs, and infertility. Endometriosis, vaginosis, weight loss, and fatigue. It's what we do, it's made for me and you. It's that rejuvenating feeling, gotta come and get your healing. Ebony, Ebony healing.
I am muted. I was muted. Sorry about that. My apologies. We're going into the second half of this interview with Adeyinka Kayla Celestin Bey. We wanted to paint a picture. I wanted to paint a picture of who she is and what she does, what her hobbies are like, what does she stand for, what is her life like on a day-to-day basis, what gives her joy. And we were able to find that out in that first session, first part of the session, just who she is, what she stands for, what gives her joy, what are her hobbies, and really get an opportunity to see behind the curtain, if you will. She helps as an herbalist. And when she said, I love herbs, I love making teas, for a very long time and all over the world. She has reviews from many people, how she's coached them and helped them and in their journey to better health, their journey to healing, whether it's been from cancer, cancer, thyroid problems, high blood pressure, diabetes, as we call sugar, all those different things. She's been able to support their growth, their healing, the progressive of their body healing itself through God's herbs, through nature. In addition to many of them, we're also taking Western medicine. And so, when they seek her support in trying something different than Western medicine, which often gives you many side effects, she would she would customize something, and still does customize a program for her clients that call for her support. And when I tell you that it's been life-changing for so many of her clients, including myself, that I can tell why she sleeps good at night from helping people the way she does. So if you're just now joining us, excuse me. I'm just like this. I feel like there's like dust like flying around or something. Oh boy. Excuse me and thank you. So yes, the second part of the video will be getting a feel of what happened. And there's more that has happened since we taped this video a few weeks ago. There's more that's happened since we taped this video a few weeks ago. As it continues to turn. But really pay attention to some of the things that she's telling you about her story. Here we go.
Hey, we are back. We are back with this beautiful queen, Adeyinka Kayla Celestin Bey from Ebony Healing, yay, and also from the Amina Nation. Correct? Correct. Ashe. All righty. So listen, I'm going to go ahead and deal with the elephant in the room, okay? Because I know your story is known. It's known. It's known with a lot of people in a lot of areas all over this world, and it's currently being working. And so I want to find out what happened that completely attempted to disrupt your life on October 3rd of 2022?
Whew. Just thinking about them getting anxiety, you know.
Wow.
It was so very, very stressful, very, very stressful, mentally, emotionally, physically, exhausting. On October 3rd, Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office trespassed on my property. And before I can even figure out what was going on, they used excessive force. They did a lot of coercion, a lot of bribing to make their way into my home unlawfully. They basically said that they were looking for a child, and they needed to come into my home to look for that child. And I'm like, I don't know who this child is, but no, you cannot go into my home, you know. And about, I would say, a good 30 minutes of, you know, battling them outside, you know, standing my ground as far as my rights to be left alone, to be secure
And
in
that's
my
what you mean by
person.
battling. You
Yes.
were talking with them.
I was talking. Yes, I was.
This wasn't physical. This
It wasn't physical.
You were talking to them.
Well, it got a little physical. They grabbed me, you know, kept me out of my home while they were in my home, you know, and that's unlawful. They do not have any right. I would say, Amendment 3 says that they are not supposed to, no soldier is supposed to quarter you in your home in a time of peace. And I would say me and my family was in a time of peace.
Soldier or law?
Soldier, if you look up the definition of soldier, it is any law enforcement officers, anyone acting under the guise of the military branch, which is what they're enforcing, is martial law, when they are forcing themselves into your home. Okay, it is unlawful for them to do that. They have no right. Only the marshal has the right to come into someone's home, and that is on the presentment of an indictment by a grand jury. Okay, they cannot just come bum rushing. They are corporate or commercial mercenaries. Okay, they are not even a part of the executive branch of government for them to feel like they can come into anyone's home. You know,
but they have those documents. Those documents don't mean anything.
If it is
right,
those documents mean nothing
according to the Constitution.
According to the Constitution, one, because it's supposed to be an Article 3 judicial officer signed off on a warrant under pain and penalty of perjury. Okay, that means under oath and affirmation. The Article 3 judicial officer or judge has to sign off on a warrant, a lawful warrant, and it has to be a search or seizure warrant. Okay, so if it's a seizure warrant, that needs to describe the person or things to be seized, and if it's a search, they have to describe the place that is supposed to be or thing that needs to be searched.
Okay, so wrong court.
Okay.
In their mind, they had it in the right court if they had it in the court at all. And then their seize was to take a child. So you said child wasn't at your home.
No.
Now they took somebody's word for it that a child was in your home. Mm-hmm. That right there, even though I don't know all the intricacies of all this, makes no sense to me. So I can just meet you in the grocery store. You told me your name. You said, "Oh, I know you. You live next door to me." Oh, okay. I decide just for tricks, for kicks, I'm going to call the popo, okay? And I'm going to call them and I'm going to say, "My neighbor has somebody's child, has my child, how about that, in their home, and I need you to go get my child. And they can just go do it, they think.
Or
they're doing it though, right?
I don't even think it's think. I think it's just
entitlement or something like
that. That's a great word. That's actually, you know what? Let me just be honest about this.
Come on.
The reason why they feel they can do those things is because a lot of our people just hush. They don't say nothing. They don't fight them, the right way. Let me say that. They don't make their claim. Okay. So basically somebody went in there and made a claim. If there's a claim in there, that's okay. But there's supposed to be a due process of law. That means notice. They've given me notice to let me know, hey, we think somebody said that you have their child in their home. Okay. Mm-hmm. The next is opportunity to be heard. I have to have the time to respond to them and say, hey, wrong home. They don't live here, or they don't domicile here. I've never seen this person. I don't know anything about them. I can dispute it. I can counterclaim. Okay. So that's my opportunity to be heard. And then if me and that person can't get to a agreement that the child is here or not, then it has to go in front of a competent court of law. Okay. To be heard by a official justice. Okay, an Article 3 judicial officer. It has to be heard, or in front of a jury, a grand jury.
Now, this Article 3, is it for a sovereign national, or is that for everybody? It should be done this way.
So let me state this: the Constitution was made for them. It was made to them. It was for our people to be able to hold them to in their box of what they can do to govern our people. Okay. The people have higher power. Okay. Our people is the one who created the government. Okay. So let me break down the pyramid. You have Allah. Allah created man and woman. Right. Man and woman created the government. Okay. The government created citizenship. Okay. So what they did was take you out from knowing that you are a man and woman under Allah and brought you to a lower level under them into citizenship. Okay. So now they are acting like they have control over you. Wow. Because let's think about it. The creator can't trump. I'm sorry. How am I saying this? The creation can't trump the creator. Okay. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
We can't trump God or Allah. Right. Okay. And government can't trump man and woman.
But they do.
Because we created them. Right. They do, because they are under the presumption that you think you are a citizen of theirs. So you have to.
But they are if they're in the public.
If you are if you are choosing to represent yourself as a U.S. citizen or a Georgia state citizen, then yes, then they control you. Okay. I haven't given anyone rights. I've challenged everyone by what authority do you have? Produce the contract. Because maybe there is a contract that I signed that says you have authority over me. I'm just asking you to produce it for the record so that I can put my eyes on it. Okay. I can check to see if it is within the four corners or if I agree to that contract. I need to make sure I have full disclosure on that contract.
Wow.
So that's all I'm saying. And the contract is the birth certificate. They're never going to put that out. They're never going to tell you the reason why they assume authority over you is because of that birth certificate.
Wow.
They're never going to tell you that. Okay? Because that took you from man, woman to citizenship.
On being property of the state.
Being property of chattel. You're nothing but a soda on the shelf.
I need a nap. I just can't do this. This right here. Listen.
It's really just that simple. It's really simple.
But you just gave me a visual that nobody has ever given me before, that now I'm like, oh.
It's really just that simple. Your only contract that you have is the one with Allah. That's the only contract. So he said that you can come here and you're supposed to live out your purpose for him, for Allah. Okay, your creator, from the source.
Come on now.
That's the only contract that you have. Any other contracts don't trump that. They're null and void.
Until you become
a U.S. citizen. Until you claim U.S. citizenship or any citizenship.
Put that birth certificate on record.
All I'm saying is put it on record. Put the birth certificate on record and say that's my contract. I can tell you a multitude of reasons why it's null and void.
Wow.
One thing, my mother was under threat, duress, and coercion when she had me. Okay, I know get my fine self out, took some create some time, some cooking. So I know she was under threat, duress, and coercion when they made her register.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's another show too. So I get it. I get it. I get enough. I'm right here. Okay. And my eyes are not closed. And my prayer is that many of you are getting this too, enough that's gonna convict you to, at some point, maybe tonight, tomorrow, whatever, to do more research, to make that call, to go to theamina.org, to click on the more knowledge, okay, to, make that call, contact us and probably make that call to the government, or to call any of the other amazing people that I've interviewed over the last few weeks and to take advantage of their services. Okay. It's really important. And these individuals that I've spoken to are saying, we've got workshops, we got this, got that. Anyway, I don't want to go too far, but I definitely want to make sure that you get the knowledge. Okay. Wake up. Even if it's just a little bit, that's how we start, right? One pinky toe at a time. And so this happened to you on October 3rd.
Yeah.
They come in the house. Did they find a child?
They did not find a child. They walked out with their tails tucked, upset. And I did give them some words, That's only because I have the right to privacy. I have the right to be secure. That's my Fourth Amendment right. They just took my private property that's Fifth Amendment taking. They just took my private property out of the private and used it for public use. That's Fifth Amendment taking.
Did you tell them your nationality?
I had it posted on the door. I had everything. I had my fee schedule for them trespassing in my property. Anything that they did said is a fee. I charge for your harassment, for your violations. Okay. And that's exactly I had their constitution that limits them, that they took an oath to. I had the Treaty of Peace and Friendship that was the first treaty on this land. I'm sorry, not the first treaty on this land, but one of the very important treaties on this land that allowed them to come over here and operate. Okay, that's the longest. Actually, it is the longest standing treaty on this land. Is a Treaty of Amity and Commerce of 1787, 1836.
Wow, you're like a walking knowledge bank.
And they know
and
this.
You had this on the. Well, I mean, do they really know it though?
Yes.
Those frontline people, do they really even know what the Constitution is? And I know they took an oath to it, right?
Let me say this, because he actually, one of the acting officers, the policy enforcer, Major Casey.
I don't want to know the names.
Okay, I'm gonna say it.
Casey.
He stated verbatim I'm just trying to enforce the law. I said, what law? Let's do this. What law are you enforcing? Okay. And he shrugs his shoulders. Do you know? How are you enforcing any law? How are you enforcing the law, but you don't know what law you're enforcing? How? And the crazy thing is that you took an oath. Your oath, the main thing to work in this position, states that you must uphold the U.S. Constitution and the Georgia Constitution. Okay, both of those, and I'm not talking about any of the revised ones. We're talking about the organic Constitution for Georgia and the United States of America, the organic one. Okay?
Which supersedes everything.
Which supersedes anything. Anything that contradicts or goes against those founding documents is waging war against it. They're null and void. They're notwithstanding. So anything, any public
supremacy clause is in there.
There's a supremacy clause in there. Which
I did a little bit of homework, y'all.
There's a supremacy clause in there. Yep, Article 3, Section 2, Clause 1 that basically gives, basically tells you it supersedes any other documents. It sanctions the treaty, any treaties that's made on this land and the Constitution. Like it's you have to hold these people to it. Even when you're in court, you have to. They're talking about the federal codes, the civil procedures, or the Georgia state code, or the public law, blah. All of that stuff is null and void. You have to have them take mandatory judicial notice of their oath of office to the organic Constitution. We don't need to be talking about any other thing, anything outside of the Constitution, because that deals with common law. Okay? You don't want them to try to do with anything under the color of law, the appearance of law. Okay, that's what color of law means. Color means the appearance of.
This is all part of your awakeness.
Yeah, so when you're calling yourself the color black, okay, that's the appearance. They're making you think it is you're black, but look at me and you. Look at this. Do we look that color? Is that's black?
Yeah, I ain't that color.
Okay. I really don't know. Even the blackest, our folk. Okay, not even this. Okay, they got a hint of brown up in there, man.
Wow.
Okay, there's no way I can call myself black. That's a mental illness.
Well, if that's the case, why would you even call yourself white?
I'm so glad you said that.
I don't know. I might have opened up another can of whoop.
I'm so glad you said that. Okay, because at the same instant of we have to stop calling ourselves black, but in the same instance, we got to stop calling them white because it clearly has some type of privilege behind it. Correct? Do you noticed?
Yeah, I have noticed that.
There's some type of privilege behind it. Okay.
Black is low and dark and white is high and bright.
You see, it comes with some privileges. Okay. And if you look at the census, I want to say SF form 91. I think that's what on the census form. And I'll come back with, this document. But if you look at it, it tells you how they classify the demographics of Black, African American, Hispanic, Latino, white, and they tell you the only one that doesn't say the Aboriginal people of the land or the landmass, and it's claiming a landmass is Black, African American, because there's no such thing as Black land. Is there? There's no such thing.
Is that a trick question?
Is there such thing? Have you heard of Black land?
No.
Okay, so they took you from your land. They literally took you from your land. If you're calling yourself Black, what landmass can you tie yourself to? Everybody else can tie themselves to land. Mexican can tie themselves to Mexico. Okay, Asians can tie themselves to Asia. You know, we can't. Black, where can you tie yourself to? No.
Okay, so what does white tie themselves to?
Well, if you look at how they code it, it is the Aboriginal people of all of the Middle East, Middle West, the North, South. They are claiming everything. They're basically saying they are the roots of everything. We all come through them, but they're recessive.
So Africans aren't Africa?
Well, this is really deep, y'all. It's a lot of we probably we can go for a long time with this because Africa, America, Mexico, all these names, they have been English. They're in English. Okay. Mm-hmm. They weren't called that. Africa was actually called a Kibalon. Okay, America was called a Mexum.
Okay.
Move.
Stop.
Turtle Island, North America. It's all. I mean, yeah, we can go on and on, but we gotta. It's a lot. Yes.
I just see like some computer chip in her head, like she's.
And let me say this: it's all claims.
It's there.
It's all claims. Yes, it's percolating. It's all claim. You gotta claim.
Like she's in file number 549, page 12, line 2, word 8.
It's percolating.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. We were on October 3rd. You put the notice on the door.
Yep.
They knew who you were. You told them who you were.
I gave them actual notice.
Actual notice.
Yep.
But they don't know anything about jurisdiction and all
that.
They
do know about jurisdiction.
So those frontline people knew.
They know about jurisdiction. When I say you do not have jurisdiction over me, that's supposed to have a light bulb. It's supposed to have a light bulb. But they, again, overexert themselves. They want you to believe. They want you to be in fear. Yes, fear controls the world. That's why everything they do, they have to put you in fear first. They have to. Before they can take your guns away, they got to do all of the things out here, the shooting in schools, the shooting in the airport, shooting at grocery stores, shooting in the church. They have to make those things reality to you. So it can fear like, oh my God, I can be in church praying and somebody come up here and, they have to create those type of situation, circumstance. Yes, they got to create that.
Media, that's that whole evil of the media. Most of the time, media is portraying all of these.
They got crisis actors, like that. At CNN, media, all of that stuff is entertainment.
Yeah. Don't sell out, media people. Don't sell out, please. I mean, this is
at the end of the day, if they so choose to do this stuff, they have to know that when the people wake up, they're going to be very, 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 very angry that they've been manipulated. They've been bamboozled. They're going to feel so hurt, by everything that they have portrayed, like at some point you got to know what's done in the dark is going to come to light.
Wow.
And these people are going to be upset. So it's time you either going to show people, tell them, stop doing the wrong, or you're going to be dealt with, at the end of the day, this is physical. This is 3D. We have to go back up to our creator. And that I'm more worried about that part than this part,
right.
So you can think that you just because you got a job and I can do, you're doing this because it's the policy and it's part of my job. At the end of the day, the contract that you have with Allah, oh man,
that's the final contract.
Oh man,
wow.
Oh man,
and people can sleep at night knowing that they're falsely imprisoning people and storming into their homes and invading their privacy and violating their rights. And they really can sleep at night doing these things to people. I don't understand that. I mean, that's horrible, and especially if you know,
right?
You're walking around. Some of these policy enforcers, some of these law enforcement, some of these, walking around like they don't know, and they know, and that's like horrible. Like you said, the final judge, the final accountability is with Allah. With God, it's just
it's even in the Bible,
that they put their hand on,
that they put exactly.
Let me just put that
it says that you're not supposed to judge, or you too shall be judged. So how are you sitting in the seat higher than me, acting like you God standing over me?
Now, we're not saying that we should not have controls, right? You're not saying that as it relates to people who truly commit a crime. What is a true crime?
Okay, a true crime. For a true crime to exist, there must be a corpus delicti, and I'll break that down. A corpus delicti is a body of crime. That means it has to have a injured party, damaged property, or due process of law, meaning some type of contract. Okay, if a full due process of law has been orchestrated, meaning notice, opportunity to heard, the opportunity for it to be
cured,
held in a competent court of law. That means a contract now exists because you acquiesce by that contract. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So for that, those are crime. That's the body of crime that exists. So again, it has to have a damaged part. I mean, somebody needs to have been hurt, harmed, or intentionally.
Intentional. I want to make sure we put that out there, because people will like, oh, you got, and listen, I'm not against law enforcement and this is me talking. Okay. I'm not a sovereign national. Okay. Well, anyway.
You are. You are.
Hold up. Let me retract that.
Right.
But let me say this.
All rights reserved and retained.
All rights reserved and retained. Let me say this. I'm not against people that are law enforcement, policy enforcers, whatever, that are out there protecting and serving.
That's what they're supposed to do.
Because that's what you're supposed to do. I am completely against those that use what their perceived power to intimidate, to feel like you have power over someone, to bully. That's not right. I don't care how you shake it. Now, these individuals came to your home and invaded your privacy. They did not want to hear what you had to say. You said you gave them some words, I'm sure, because you were angry. I mean, we're human, right? You're living, blood breathing flesh. You all that, and there's you were up. These people are coming up my house. I'm putting my notice up. They should know about it. This is I'm trying to just do my passion. I'm speaking for you. My passion of healing people, working with people. I got a 108-year-old dog. I'm trying to keep her calm.
My dog, one of my dogs actually passed away because of this incident.
Wow.
Yep. I was sad. I was hurt. Yeah. It was the son of Sophia, and she's been very, very depressed since then. Dogs, they have personalities, she's like, where's my son?
Your anxiety.
Yeah. So and he's younger than her, and he passed away shortly after. He was having like severe anxiety since they left, and we just could not calm down until he had went into cardiac arrest.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
What did they do when they came into your home?
They literally turned over the place. They went through everything. They completely violated me. It was a very scary situation to know your rights and know you're supposed to be secure, to know that I am we the people, to know that I have some type of rights here, and have someone just take it away from me. or belittle me like I have no
Wow.
right to my own home that I'm taking care of, that I domicile in, that I, pray and worship Allah in, they completely just disrupted the peace in my home. And it hasn't been the same since. Like, I'm terrified of them doing it again. I'm terrified that these people now know where I am. They know where I domicile. I don't know what they can be up to, are up to, but you can just come into my home, everything from top to bottom.
How many were there?
I would say it's about 15 to 20. Yeah, it looked like like they were coming to
15 to 20
agents from Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office. And they also had, I noticed something that they had on them, and I tried to do a little bit more research on it, but they had this black and white flag with a blue line through it. And when I looked up that, it's for the Boys in Blue. So that was more gang-like activity, because they're supposed to be under the American flag, the United States flag.
Now, I didn't know the exact number, so that's a lot.
Yeah.
Do you have a criminal record?
No.
So you've been a good, lawfully abiding, more sovereign national.
A woman of God. No
and
record.
You got 15
to 20 agents.
And when you say agents, like, what do they call them? What would Gwinnett call them?
Police officers, peace officers.
So they were police officers. Were there any higher ranked people here?
I think it was a sergeant and a major.
Now, would those two, if anybody else, would they know what the Constitution?
They know they're violating you? It's not even about would they know. They are supposed to. That's their job.
That's
the only thing that gives them the right to do what they do. Is the
what you're doing like this? Did they give you anything to say we have in our eyes the right?
They gave me a sheriff's entry of service order. Does that sound like a warrant? Does that sound like a seizure warrant? Search warrant? No. A sheriff's entry of service order. Okay? Meaning I can consent to it or not consent. I have an option. Okay? It's a service. I do not want the service. So therefore, you have to go. I don't consent. I don't want to contract with you. It was not a warrant, and it wasn't even signed by Article 3 judicial officer. It wasn't signed by anyone. He showed me a blank paper that had no autograph on it. Because I need to be able to see the warrant, and I need to know that that's an Article 3 judge autograph.
A picture of that, right?
Yes.
If I recall correctly.
Absolutely.
I got tears. I am truly a crybaby some days, but I'm really emotional about this because I'm sitting here just listening to you. Like, there's some intricacies about what happened that I didn't know, and I was personally involved, and I'm so confused. So, what does the report say about what happened that day?
I don't even think there was a report. There was no report about. Yeah, I don't even remember seeing a report. I tried to look up everything and I could not find the report.
Can somebody say what the frijoles? Can you just type that somewhere? I don't know, just the hashtag and stuff. Like, what the frijoles? How can you break into someone's house? Because that's what I'm going to call it. Okay. How can you come into someone's home, to their domicile, and they don't have a criminal record? You don't have any proof. Somebody told you something possibly about a child being somewhere. Okay. You went by word of mouth. You don't have anything signed according to your policies and procedures, signed according to this homeowner, okay, domicile owner, that you have the right to do this by an Article 3, I think you said, all these, you cannot cross a T and dot an I in this at all. And then you tell me, and I believe you because I know you and I know you do your research, and I know you're woke, that they don't even have a report of the incident on October 3rd? How is that right? If anybody's trying to rationalize this and make it right, you're crazy. I'm going to say it. Whoever you are, you know who you be. There's no way to make that right.
It's not right. It's not right.
It makes zero sense to me. How can you, those of you who are tax-paying, you prideful of being a taxpayer, okay, and you pay for these people to protect and serve you, and they're not protecting and this incident doesn't sound like a protect and serve. Not if you didn't do due process of law. You coming into this nice neighborhood, right? And it's a nice neighborhood, nice, good. And it doesn't mean that bad people don't live in bad neighborhoods. We're talking about someone not with a criminal record, somebody that telling you this person is not in my home. I don't even know what you're talking about. All right. You show me something you said, and you got pictures of it that doesn't even have a signature on it. Well, what they showed her. Okay. All right. There's no incident report based on what you're saying and what you've looked for. There's nothing.
And they have no right.
And you have 15, you paid for all them people to be here, 15, 20 of them to be here at her home. And there's no proof of it anywhere. But they were on the clock. They were on that clock. All right? That's something to make you go, what the? So I want to fast track. I need to take a break, but I can't because I got a headache now. I really have a headache because I just, it's hard to wrap my mind around some of these things I knew because I was very closely involved, and there's some things I did not know. And it just kind of is making my arthritis flare up. Oh, help me, Lord. So I know, me too. I'm really tired. And this is making me exhausted. It's exhausting.
It is exhausting. The whole situation was exhausting. Like, I literally slept for maybe 24 hours after that. It was so draining. Like, I felt like they just...
Like you're in another... Like it was a dream.
Yeah. It was a battle. A spiritual battle.
And I even see your eyes watering right now. Like,
yeah,
I can tell like there's some weight from that.
It was a lot. It was a lot. I never thought that I would have them raid my home. You know, usually you hear that about the drug bust.
Right. Oh, wow.
You just come raid my home. It was, and literally everything turned over just to they even opened the oven. Like, I would stuff a child in the oven. You know, my shower is clear. They snatched my shower down, and you can clearly see right through it. You know, like it was unbelievable. It was unbelievable, literally. Unbelievable.
What else about that day that's completely unbelievable? If you look back at what those law enforcement, whatever, what they did, that was unbelievable. You're like, I cannot believe that they went in my house, they looked in the oven, they snatched some curtain down, you can see through it.
Oh, I would say before one of them left, Nicholas Higgins, I don't say names, but he stated, "This isn't over." That was a threat. That was a threat. And yeah. And it's a lot of stuff that comes after that those words that transpired later on that I feel was a direct retaliation. And I've been suffering from that since.
And that direct retaliation because of you, only thing I can pull from it is like some of the words you said, because I watched the video. The video's pretty detailed.
Yeah.
Not to mention I was there. But you know, it's one thing to be there and one thing to watch video.
The video's on YouTube, so you can go see for yourself.
But you feel like it was it's not over. Do you feel like it came from some of the words because they were like, Like some of the words you were saying to them. Do you think the retaliation of the knowledge that you had that you were giving to them, the words that you were saying, did you tell them they were breaking the law and, you know, was breaking your rights? Excuse me.
Yeah, you know, as a national of the land, you're supposed to know that these people have bonds. They have oath of offices, but the bonds are nothing but insurance policies. Okay. When they do act outside of their oath or do any type of malpractices, then we have the right to go sue them, you know, or file complaints to so we can get remedy or redress. Which many people do.
You just don't hear about it a lot.
I think me stating that I first asked them, "Are you guys under oath? All right, did y'all take an oath to the Constitution?" And they all said yes.
Proudly, huh?
Proudly.
Wow. Yeah, I took the oath. I don't know what the Constitution says, but I took it.
Right.
I did. My family was there.
Yeah,
you know,
and I told them I accept your oath of office and your bonds for this, you know. And I think me stating that and asserting that and them knowing that, oh man, she probably does know how to take my job away from me. You know, I feel like that was a direct retaliation, and that was an event that happened shortly after, a few weeks later.
Wow. Which I want to ask you about after the break. I have one more question for you because I did hear this and I think I saw something to verify because I wasn't inside your home. But did they go into the home, do you feel, with an intent to not just looking for a child, but what else?
If they were looking for a child, that would have been child endangerment because they've had their weapons out, pointed, kicking the door with their gun, literally pointed at the door. You know, like, what if it was not even the child that they were looking for, but a baby or elder?
Was there anybody else in the house?
My sisters were here, and yes, and my little niece, she's 1 year old. I don't even think she was 1 at the time. Yeah,
so they had their guns drawn.
They had their guns drawn
as if they were looking for a child. They're gonna shoot,
right? As if they were looking for another army behind the door. I don't know. It was like they were going to war.
Yeah, it's hard for me to say this is not, because it's really hard for me to say this now. I'm gonna say it.
I'm thinking if they
would you have done that to anyone else? Is there proof that this particular county, I'm just saying, a similar situation had a correct search paperwork or seizure paperwork or not? You know that's contagious. You're gonna make me do that.
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying. Y'all saw her yawn. It's not me. She's bored of herself because this is good stuff. But you know, they went to another home of a non-melanated. I'm just gonna say they could be anybody other than melanated, and they had that same paperwork, unsigned, whatever. Could there possibly be proof somewhere that it was a similar circumstance, but they didn't kick in the door? They didn't go in with guns drawn, and they didn't show up with 15 to 20 officers. Is there proof somewhere in that county that a similar situation was handled completely different? Makes you go, It makes you want to go look up the docket, look up the reports, or maybe there was no report again. Is that lawful?
No.
Don't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. That concerns me. It concerns me, not for you, it's done. And you clearly have some anxiety from it. I'm sitting here with you so I can see the emotion. I can even feel the seat even feels hot. You know, I can feel her tremble a little.
I don't even wish that on my worst enemy. I wouldn't want anyone. I don't even call the police for anything, because just that alone,
the anxiety from
the
anxiety. Like, what are they going to do if they come here? Am I going to say boo and they're going to draw a gun on me?
What if I'm the one that called them and they turn on me? You know, we've seen that happen before,
plenty of times.
You know, so it's scary. It's honestly, it took me a while to just get myself at a peaceful state again, because I'm my head is turning like, what are they gonna do? What's next? You know, like in my own home. This is supposed to be my safe haven, and they completely made it unsafe.
And I was just about to say that too, that it's not even you, that I'm concerned about you and all of us that were involved, but I'm even more concerned about, because we've passed it now as it relates to it happening a while back, but I'm more concerned about people who think this could never happen to them.
Right.
You know, what if that had happened to an elderly person? And maybe they had a weak heart. And I don't know if it would have happened to a melanated or non-melanated. I'm not saying that they were, you know, I'm just wondering. It makes you think, like, would this have happened to someone else who was non-melanated? Or would it not have? Could they walk around and say, we truly did our job? Or could we find some proof somewhere in their system that the situation was similar, but how they handled it was completely different?
Right.
That is something we, the people, need to wake up on.
That's right.
Because this young lady is saying it, and I know it. You know, I don't even want to call the police. Somebody's at my door. Somebody's behind my house hiding. Oh, should I call? Based on what happened to me, I don't feel like I'm being protected or served. And it gets worse. And it gets worse. And we got about 15 more minutes. And I don't know if we're going to be able to get through this part in 15 minutes. But we're going to try. And I'm going to tell you, if you haven't, if you're already disconnected, please, the beautiful part is you can always go back and listen to it. You can always rewind and forward. You got to listen to this. Because I don't want you to think just because you got your status, you got your nice home, your nice cars, your nice jobs, your health is good, you got your boo thing, the kids, the dogs, the basketball court, the swimming pool, all that you are safe from some renegade, entitled, bully, law enforcement person, that you are safe. You are not. They could snap at any moment and violate your rights.
Absolutely.
And so you have to know your rights, and you have to protect yourself, and you have to be ready, you know, at any given circumstance to be able to verbalize your rights to them. Because one thing I will tell you, unless they push that little button on their vest, which that will be questionable, everything they do is being recorded. Many of them will push that button in some of these cities, counties, states, where they have a choice. They'll push it. You'll see them push it. You'll see them delete the video. And they'll delete the video. Okay. So you have got to be able to speak your rights. I have got to be able to speak my rights. We have got to wake up like this young lady. She's woke. She's woke. She's reciting these things. And I'm just like, oh, I can't. I'm a minister and I can't. I struggle with reciting the scriptures outside of John 3:16. I know it's in there, but you know, I mean, she's able to recite these codes and everything. You have to be able to speak your rights because it matters. They're there for a reason. They are. We are not advocating. We are, first of all, we are exercising our rights, our Fourth and Fifth Amendment right now. And we're not advocating for people to go out there and just think every policy enforcer, law enforcement, police officer is crooked and corrupt. We're not saying that. We're saying, as in anything, they are there. And you've got to protect yourself by knowing your rights. And you got to stand up for your rights. Because if you don't stand up for them, who will? We'll be right back. I'm excited to talk to this queen, Adeyinka Kayla Celestin Bay. And I'm so excited that she has been so transparent about telling us her story. And like I said, we'll be right back. Come on, y'all. Give it up for Adeyinka Kayla Celestin Bay.
Would you like to reach millions of viewers? Would you like to generate increased brand awareness? Guess what? You're at the right place. Advertise on my worldwide network TV today, and your business, product, or service, it deserves it. And it will get the exposure that you need to take your business to the next level. TV advertising still has many advantages and is a major part of overall advertising and marketing, and an excellent way to get your business in front of millions of viewers. Hey, don't get left behind. Get Empowered Woman Network on your side and advertise today. Don't delay. Check us out at www.empoweryourpower.com. I hope to see you there on the Level Up.
Living life, feeling good inside. Ask me why, it ain't no surprise. We got the tea, good for you and me. Kings and queens, check out Ebony. Cancer, diabetes, STDs, and infertility. Endometriosis, vaginosis, weight loss, and fatigue. It's what we do, it's made for me and you. It's that rejuvenating feeling, gotta come and get your healing. Ebony healing.
Ebony, get your healing. Get your healing.
Get your healing, get your healing, get your healing. Get your healing, get your healing,
Get your healing. That was supposed to be a fishing rod, but I'm so tired I couldn't even do it.
You gotta be quicker than that.
Gotta be quicker than that, or you're gonna lose the catch. Ebony. I had to do it. Okay, anyway, that is super cool. So don't forget to go to ebonyhealing.com. Ebonyhealing.com. This is the business owner of ebonyhealing.com. She has been an herbalist for over 8 years. Man, and I tell you, everything that she does, it is inspired by God. Come on, somebody. Talk about healing from the herbs from the earth that are coming from our father, our mother, our father, mother. Come on, somebody. So please, please, please do not delay. Make sure that you go to www.ebonyhealing.com, okay? And get your healing on. All right? Get your healing. All right. So we got a little bit more time. And I have to tell you that the more I talk about it, the more it's like I relive that experience of what happened on October 3rd of 2022. And there's no way that anybody can make it right. No way that they could make it that what happened was right. And so let's fast forward. I know you said it took you some time and you're still kind of working through it with the anxiety and feeling even more nervous about calling, the police if you even needed something during that a short period of time before what happened to you on October 26th happened of 2022, which was what, 3 weeks, maybe 2 to 3 weeks after that. So tell me what happened that day.
I just left dentist surgery. So I just got some dental work done and mouth was swollen. I was headed home to my domicile when 2 or 3 Swanee police dashed out in front of my conveyance.
Which is your automobile?
My automobile, yeah. And I will, they're there for emergency purposes. They're supposed to alert us for emergency. So I thought maybe there was some type of emergency going on. So I came over to the side to get some information regarding the emergency. And the first thing that she does or says is, do you understand you're not supposed to have your phone in your hand while you're driving? I said, well, first, I'm not driving, I'm traveling. There's 2 separate things. That's that private and public. I was explaining to you about, in order to be a driver, you have to be under commerce. Okay. You have to be an employee of the state. Okay. And if you look at your Class C driver's license, which most of you guys have, or most of people have, what do you think the C stands for?
Commercial.
Are you driving commercially?
No.
When you're going home or to the grocery store, you're just traveling. You're on your ordinary course of life, doing what makes you happy, pursuit of happiness, right?
Gotta get some food.
Gotta get some food, So I'm not operating under commerce. And I told her that, I was like, well, what's the emergency, and she stated again, you're not supposed to be driving you're with your phone in your hand. I said, again, I'm not driving. I'm not under contract with the states. I don't drive. I'm traveling, and I would like to go home. And
were you on your phone?
No.
So she's the one who stopped you, who dashed in front of you. You said, or then you said dashed in front of you, stopped a couple of people. So did she say she saw you on your phone?
No.
But either way, you said you weren't on your phone.
I wasn't on my phone. However, I won't put it in there. I won't say that. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna just be honest. However, if I wanted to be on my phone, I have that right. I'm traveling. I'm not operating under commerce. That is a rule of policy and procedure, but nowhere in the Constitution that it says that I can't have my phone in my hand. That's a personal liberty. The right to travel is a personal liberty. The right of pursuit of happiness is a liberty that is protected by the Constitution. So even though I did not have my phone in my hand, if I did, it's still not breaking the law. That's not against the law at all.
Constitutional law.
It's not against the constitutional law.
Which supersedes everything. Even state law, bills that have been passed.
Right. All that's public law, public policies, procedures, rules, codes
that are put in place to really save lives. I mean, if someone is texting and driving, it could cost a life. So we know why they do it, or why they pass that bill for the public, right?
It is they passed it as a preventative, which is that. I mean, that is okay, However, you still can't hold, if I don't want to abide by that rule, if I have not, if I haven't murdered anyone, I haven't ran into someone, then it's still not a crime. Okay. You can, put your phone down and then let me go. You're not going to charge me for it, or you're not going to make me seem like I've committed some type of crime.
Right.
Right.
And dash in front of your car, you said.
Right.
Which had to startle you.
Exactly.
Because I could have,
murdered her by running her over just because she dashed out in front of my car. Like, you know, that right there is more of a hazard than anything. You know, them just jaywalk. That's what they call it, jaywalking.
Not to mention, you're someone who, based on what you said, you're suffering from anxiety from what just happened with law enforcement, police officers, you know.
So automatically my heart is racing, you know, like I'm like, okay, something's going on. What's going on? You know, what's the emergency? What are they up to now?
What did I do wrong?
Yeah.
Like what?
Because I literally was about to go home. You know, I was on the way home and they just dashed in front of my car. I did ask to speak to a captain.
Okay.
Captain knows the law. They're supposed to.
Sovereign national.
As it relates to, yes, there is a consular notification and access. Like I said, I travel completely private. So everything, my whole conveyance, my automobile is in the private, it's under trust. And so they had nothing that would pull me into the public at that time.
It's her fault.
Don't blame me. She did it.
It's been over an hour and I can't stop it.
She did
it's
it.
Like a train with no brakes.
I
don't want it to stop. Okay, come on.
Yeah, so I asked to speak to a captain. The captain's supposed to know. He came over. Usually they're wearing white shirts or they wear something completely different. It's going to take some time for the captain to come because typically the captain is not always on the scene. Okay?
Right.
They're not always probably. Right. So I was expecting to wait some time for a captain to
and why did you ask for the captain? I think I missed that when I was covering
the captain typically knows the Constitution. They know that they have to abide by the Constitution. They know certain signals, which one of my signals was my Moroccan flag. When you, anytime a flag, if, Article 4 of the Treaty of Peace and Friendship states, if a vessel has their flag showing, use that as a symbol to know that they abide by the laws of that flag. Okay, so automatically there was a conflict of interest. I was out of their jurisdiction once that flag was flown. The captain is supposed to know that. Okay. But this captain was completely incompetent, oblivious, and he starts to offer the same commercial contract in a form of a traffic infraction, which is the cell phone violation. Also, let me say this: traffic. The definition of traffic is commerce, to buy, trade. It literally means commerce. Okay, that's what traffic means. So when they're saying I'm pulling you over for a routine traffic stop, that means they are literally pulling you over to do commerce, to do business with you. That's exactly what they're saying.
And you're not going to do business with them because you're not in the public.
I'm not in the public.
You're not signed.
I have to choose if I want to do business with you. Just like if I'm going to McDonald's or the grocery store, or choosing if I want to go to Walmart, Kroger, or Publix, I have to choose which person I want to go do business with. Okay,
Jesus help me.
And I didn't want to do business with that. You know, once I realized they weren't giving me any emergencies.
And you're pulling me over for something I didn't do.
Yeah.
I mean, just on GP. I mean,
I don't want to do commerce. I don't want to do commerce. I want to go home right now. And he didn't like that, you know. Again, I told him I'm an indigenous aboriginal of this land, you know, all rights reserved and retained. I'm invoking my constitutional 4th, the 5th, the 6th Amendment right. You know, and they completely just ignored my rights again, just like October 3rd. They just completely ignored it. And he takes a knife and bangs on my window with a knife to break it out. Now I'm completely scared. Like my head is hurt just thinking about it. Like I'm so scared of this man. I've never seen
or never even heard of that.
A knife out and try to bust your window. Usually they have like at least the baton.
So he didn't cut himself. Like how did he have like?
Now I towards the end of the stop, he did have his hand wrapped because the way he had the knife, it was, you know, he had the blunt end of the knife banging the window, but the knife was actually,
it was open.
Yeah, so I think he cut himself by holding the knife, you know, at the window. Yeah, so yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
You were telling me that this police officer,
Robert Thompson,
had the knife
open and banging on my window.
Do you know if their cameras were on?
I don't know.
Because that would be on the camera.
It's supposed to be.
I had never heard this part of the story. So he's banging it. Boom. Because why? I mean, I guess I'm sitting here thinking, why would it need to be wrapped? Why was there an issue?
Why was
if it was closed,
right?
And you were banging, because did it break? Did the windshield break?
No,
when he was banging.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't break. The reason why it didn't break is because when I jumped, I had an electric BMW at the time, and when I literally jumped, they had me sitting on a hill. She had me pull over onto a hill.
Okay.
So when I jumped, my foot literally slid off the pedal and my car began to roll forward. It, you know, shot forward, because again, it's electric. All you have to do is take your foot off the brake and it's gone. You know,
done.
And so
it's like a little car, a little race cars.
Yeah, a little Hot Wheels. That's exactly what it is. And literally, it just took off, you know. And I was scared. In my self-defense, you know, I thought he was going to kill me. Murder me. I'm sorry. I thought he was going to murder me, you know. So I checked. I looked around, made sure nobody was safe, and I you know, continued on.
A little bit of Kleenex, please.
Continued on to my home, and that, you know, now I'm feeling like that was even the worst decision I could have made, because shortly after, I thought it was him or the initial officer that came, that actually pulled me over, Danielle Matthias. I thought she got into her car and started to chase me. So they, you know, had on their lights again. I like I said, I was stopped at a red light when I saw them pull up behind me and turn on their lights. So I'm like, oh my goodness. So I literally, you know, they're trying to make me stop. I go on. I'm trying to find.
So were you speeding when you?
Nope, I was not speeding. Nope. And no, that's a commercial.
What was going through your mind at that time? Like you said, your heart was. What was happening? Like
I really zoned out. I'm gonna be completely honest, because I just knew my life was over. I just knew that, okay, now they're behind me. Something is going to happen. This is not going to end well. This is not going. I knew in my heart that this was not going to end well. Just to see from the start of him having the knife in his hand, I'm like, okay, they're coming after me. Like this is not a game, you know. Like my life is literally flashing.
Wow, I'm just wow.
Yes, my life is literally flashing before my eyes, and I'm like, literally
what do
just
I do? This is not happening.
So I had, you know, at the time while I was stopped, I did put my phone on record, and I had also some witnesses that were on the phone at that time that got to see everything. And
wow,
I was literally like, I don't know, I'm about to go home, and somebody said, "Don't go home." One of the witnesses on the phone was like, "Don't go home. Don't."
And
take
now
them
they
to
were
your...
witnessing, so they witnessed it from the moment that you were, when you stopped, when they pulled you over on this hill.
That's when I
called them.
Yep. I called them literally when they pulled me over and I was stopped. I picked up my phone, I had two, picked up my phone, started recording on one, had my witnesses on the other phone.
So they were available.
Yep. And literally,
so they literally answered on your first, when you called them, did they answer the first time you called them?
No,
and they were ready.
They did not answer the first time I called. I actually had to send a message and say, "Yo, I just got pulled over," and literally my phone rung once they saw
they called you right back.
They called me right back, and I set them up on the phone, and yeah, I remember, like I said, I was heading home, about to head home when they started. They came up behind me, turned on their lights, and my first thing is just go home. Just go home. That's safe to me. And someone said, "No, don't go home. Don't take them to your home because of what just happened. The October 3rd, I don't need that at my home again. My neighbors is a nice neighborhood. I didn't want to bring my family into that. I'm thinking about the baby, the 1-year-old at home, my sister's at home, my mother's at home. I don't want them. No.
Wow,
so wow. I turned, I was about to make a U-turn to go to Quick Trip. A lot of people call Quick Trip the safe.
How far away that was from where they pulled you over?
It was less than a mile away. It was less than a mile away. Quick Trip is supposed to be like the safe house.
Right,
they have this thing called the safe house. So, and it's private property. So, my thing was, okay, just hit the U-turn, go to Quick Trip, stop there.
Right.
And also where everybody could see me, I wanted people to see me. And as soon as I hit the U-turn to go to Quick Trip, another Georgia State Patrol conveyance vehicle, because that's what it rammed me into the side, completely totaling my car.
You don't have a criminal background.
I have no criminal background.
You pulled over. They told you to pull over.
Yep, I listened.
You listened. You were in pain and under some type of medication, I'm sure, you had surgery.
Yeah, my mouth was numb. My face was numb.
You got everything recorded. So much so that you're like, this is not right. I told you. Did you tell them who you were? Did you tell them that
I'm an Indigenous Aboriginal National. I'm traveling under
international. You put your flag up.
Treaty law, put my flag up.
They didn't understand that, so you asked for the captain. Mm-hmm. Captain came.
Wasn't really the captain.
Wasn't really within a few minutes, 30 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. How long? Where he took to start banging your window?
It was probably within 3 minutes of him talking to me. He asked one time, and he said, "I need you to step out of the car." I said, "I'm not going to step out of the car. I'm literally scared. We know what they do. Let's just be honest.
Let's just be honest.
We know what they do when they pull you out of the car. I don't want to be another Sarah Bland. I don't want to be oh Lord have mercy, George Floyd.
You could go on and on.
Right. I don't want to be another one. So I felt more safe in my car. So that's where I told no, I'm not. I wanted to know what crime. Please provide me a crime, or who is pursuing a lawsuit against me, who is making the claim, where is the probable cause. They could tell me nothing.
Probable cause, because you did not have a phone. You said
that's not even probable cause to convict anybody of a crime. That's not a crime. So there still was no probable cause for the initial stop. The initial stop dealt with commerce only. Okay, it dealt with a commercial contract. They wanted to write me a citation for something I did not do, and I didn't want to contract with them. You have that right.
And this is, I apologize. I see comments that are coming on here. I'm just trying to make sure I'm looking at this right. Sorry. This, I can't even imagine what was going through your mind. I can't even imagine based on what you told us already. And you asking for someone that you thought was credible and would know. Honorable, who would know.
Right.
Because clearly the people that were there didn't know. And real quickly, and you actually found out later from what I know about your story, the details I know, is that the person the one or two people that dashed in front of your car and pulled you over never saw anything.
Oh yeah.
They were told to pull you over.
Exactly. And if you read the report,
there's a report.
There's a report. There was a report.
I had to do it. I was being a little messy, right?
Oh my goodness, yes. And it was a report for this one. It was a report for this one, and the corporal who stated that he saw me with the phone in the hand recanted his statement and basically said, what did he say? He didn't know where my hands were.
And that's in the report.
He couldn't recall where my hands were. And she couldn't recall it. In the report, she didn't know where my hands were. So why are we here?
From what I remember, she was told just to pull you over. She never saw anything.
Right. And that's
she was just
unlawful. They cannot do that. She has to have visualized the crime. She is whoever is supposed to, right? Whoever pulls you over are supposed to be the ones that writes. They are making a claim. That's it. They're making a claim. And they can't go off the word of someone else.
Right.
They have to actually make the claim themselves. So for her to hear a word from someone else to come and violate my rights.
Your rights.
It's wrong.
And I can just even see, I feel it now. Like I know I don't feel nearly as what you felt, but based on what you said for October 3rd, and then this is happening, and then this person gets over there that's supposed to help you home. Because I didn't do anything wrong. I know what they're talking about. And I put my flag, you know that I'm not even in the public. I don't even want to commerce with you. Whatever you're trying to do, I don't partake in that. I just want to go home.
I want to go home.
And you then proceed, the person that's supposed to protect me that's over these other people that's done something wrong to me. And I'm freaking out right now. I'm stressing. You pull out an open knife. Not your, what they call it, billy club, where that even came from. Not your little baton thing. Not even your gun. You pull out
a knife. And
somehow it ends up open, I guess. Or maybe he opened it before he started. I don't know. We don't know, right? All you know is you've got somebody doing this. Trying to bash your windshield, but they're going to take you out of the car. Like did he tell you he was going to take you out of the car?
Yes, he made that threat. He said, if I don't get out the car, if you don't get out the car, I'm going to bash you out the window, bash out your windows and take you to jail. That's a threat. That's
and take you to jail for what?
For what? For what? If I have the right to be secure in my person's places in effect, home in effect, for what?
And why did he ask you to get out of the car? Did he say?
He didn't say.
What did he ask you before he said get out the car? Because you said they talked for a minute. He talked to you for a second.
No, he said that. No, he only. It really. That's what I said. I don't even think it was 3 minutes. It's probably like a minute or two where he says, You know, you're not supposed to have your phone in your hand. I need you to step out of the car. I said, no, I'm not. Why am I stepping out of the car? I'm not going to step out of the car. I don't feel safe. I don't want to step out of the car. And yeah, he took it upon himself to.
Why didn't they just slap a ticket? If they just wanted to just slap a ticket, why didn't they just slap a ticket on your windshield?
It's too much light, right?
I mean, I'm so confused. This sounds, you know what? Listen, I ain't no private investigator, and I'm just a simple old mama. I'm trying to understand, is this retaliation?
That's exactly what it felt like, because it didn't feel like a normal traffic stop. It felt like this was a plan. Like, we knew who she is. We've been waiting for you, because it was a gang of them. Literally, it was a swarm of them. And it was like they were sitting right. This is like literally my first day coming out since the incident on October 3rd, because I've been so terrified to come out. Went to the dentist. I had a surgery, and the day that I come out, they have a traffic detail where it's Georgia State Patrol, Department of Public Safety, I think are both under the same branch. Suwannee Police, Gwinnett Police, Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office. It was just a bunch
They wanted to cover every basis with you.
Yeah.
From a state level, from a county level, and a city level.
Yeah, it was like
you had Gwinnett. Did you say Gwinnett?
Gwinnett even showed up and took me, snatched me up and took me to their jail, where they had me, their prisoner of war camp, where they had me sitting for 30 days, a month. Yeah.
Okay,
so
I got to go back before I go back.
Yeah.
Because this is unbelievable for me. Even though I know a lot of this story, I'm still like, this is like, and you do the same thing. I know you are. I don't even see you, but I know you're like, oh, what the, what the? So you, within 1 minute of this captain, I just want to repeat this, coming to your conveyance. He said to you about your phone, and now get out the car. He didn't ask you anything else. Your name, your date of birth, I'm just saying stuff, blood type, where do you live, where are you going? None of that. He just, what did you ask me to come here for?
He did ask me for a driver's license. He did ask me for a driver's license.
And what was your response to that?
I don't have a driver's license. I'm not a driver. I am traveling. I'm not operating under commerce. I don't have any contracts with the state.
And after he asked you for that, he said something about the phone again.
Step out of the car.
Because you did not produce a driver's license.
I have the right to identify. That's my Fourth Amendment right, which I invoked there. I have the right to privacy. Where's your claim? Because you have to know exactly how I look. There has to be some type of claim where you know who I am. I shouldn't have to give you up my information, my private information, for you to take it and bring it into the public and do what you want with it. And that, me, invoking my right, or, trying to be secure in my right, it was taken advantage of. It was taken, my private rights was taken for public use. And it led to me being snatched out of the car, pulled through glass, arm dislocated, slammed on the ground, hair pulled, exposed. My clothes were ripped off. They didn't even, I'm like, can y'all help me? Literally I could barely move my arm because they, tore my arm out of socket, dislocated my arm, but I couldn't, and also not to mention, they rammed my car. So I had, my back was hurting so bad. My ribs, you know, it was a severe, you know, car wreck. Yeah, and it was intentional
because you were making the
and they had the little things on their
those metal guards,
so they don't have any damages. My car was totaled, you know.
You don't have a criminal history. You were very cooperative. You were very calm. You pulled over. You answered their questions. He asked you to get out of the car. You were afraid. Clearly afraid.
Yes.
Instead of him having a peaceful conversation with someone who's peaceful, and you decided not to get out of the car within 1-2 minutes, 3 at the most, he proceeds to beat on your glass with the barrel of a knife, which is in the report. You already have anxiety from something that just happened. You just had surgery also. You're in an electric car. You panic this way. I can even feel doing this and letting up off of what, I mean, because I can see that. I can feel it. It gives me chills just thinking, you know, seeing that happen.
Yeah, just a natural response, because think about it, when a glass breaks, the glass is gonna break in your face, so you're gonna like lean.
Yeah.
So at that point, my body followed, and my foot was no longer on the brake, you know, because I was never, you know, I was just stopped, you know,
and on a hill,
in an electric car.
They crash. You go not even a mile down the road. You actually stopped at a light, you said. Let me make sure I get everything, because I'm just like, this is not some hard criminal taking somebody on a high-speed chase.
Right.
This is like, what the...
If it was a high-speed chase, it wouldn't have lasted a minute. You know, it literally, the report says the high-speed chase lasted for a minute. How is it a high-speed chase if it lasted for a minute? I only went
4 minutes. I think they said 4 or 5 minutes.
That's what she said. But if you look at the report, it says from 10:55 to 10:56 or something like that. It's literally a minute apart from the chase.
But they will have cameras and stuff to verify all that, and they should have if they didn't delete it. Their car camera.
I'm really.
But you stopped at a light, and stopping at a light alone is going to take you at least a couple of minutes.
Right.
Is it just me? Because in those couple of minutes, I'm just saying, I'm one of those people unapologetically. In that 2 minutes, I want to see real quick who messaged me. You know, I'm trying to check it out. So I know it's a couple of minutes. At least if you stop when you stopped at that light. So they drag you out, somebody comes, picks you up, they expose you, they pull your hair out. Anything else happen?
Let me I do want to touch on something. After they ran my conveyance, you know, they all hop, it's like they swarm me, and they hop out with
like
their gun. Yeah, they hop out with their gun, their weapons pointed at me like they were about to shoot me. And I literally said out loud, y'all, it's over with. They about to shoot me. Those are my exact words verbatim, because you can tell they all was looking at each other like who's about to. Yes. And all I can do, my natural response was just to hold my hands up in the air, literally. And one of them, they don't move, don't move. One of them saying, hold your hands up, hold your hands up. The next one saying, open the door, open the door. You know, like all of them are saying different things. Like I just couldn't, I was in shock. You know, I literally almost flew across the seat from how hard he hit me on my side, you know. So I literally, you know, from the
I'm devastated right now. I feel like I'm sitting in the car with her.
And all I can do is put my hands up, and you know, them all saying all different things to do. One comes over, still you know, weapon pointed directly at my face, starts to bash out my window, and he literally snatches me by the arm from my side across the passenger side
in the small little BMW electric car.
And,
My
and
God, are y'all listening to this?
Literally rips my shoulder, drags me out by my arm, where my arm literally snaps, and my body had glass marks from them pulling me through the glass of the car. He slams me down on the ground, tries to literally break me. Like, that's what it literally felt like. He was about to, and then they swarmed. It was multiple of them tugging, pulling, like literally. I'm like, yo, I'm hurt, my arm, and they, because they didn't have, I'm private. They literally tried to break my wrist to force me to thumbprint. That is a violation of your 4th and 5th Amendment right. That's self-incriminate. You're trying to make me self-incriminate myself by creating your whole narrative and fingerprinting me so you can pull
and you
an
said
identity.
They said that too, right?
Yeah, he said when they dragged me off the ground and threw me in the car, Robert Thompson, the acting captain, comes over to the car they had me in and says, hurry up, create the narrative. She was like, he says, I'm sorry. He says, write the warrant. She said, wait, so you don't want me to do the citations? What do I do about the citation? And he says, don't worry about the citations. Create the warrant, create the narrative, and add the warrants. Right in my face. Create the narrative. Yeah. Create the narrative. So it was, and just, oh man, it just stresses me out just thinking about it. Like I literally just going to the store or going to a doctor's appointment or anything, like my heart is racing. I'm terrified when I see him. Like it's just an unimaginable experience. It's a traumatizing experience. It's a mental draining experience. Like it's really added a lot of trauma to my life. Like I'm not the same. I haven't been the same since I was freed from their captivity, which shortly after all of that happened, they took me in and held me there for a whole month. They tried to give me.
Wait, stop. Hold up. Shortly after that, after the thumbprint, they took you in where?
Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office Detention Center.
Shortly after they rammed your car, your automobile, conveyance, whatever, the four-wheeler.
They didn't call an ambulance.
They did not take her. They did not take you to get medical treatment.
No. No medical
treatment. Do you have
treatment.
pictures of that car? I'm sure. I wish I had pictures of that car right now.
Yeah.
No criminal record.
No criminal record.
And you sat there for.
Oh, it's making my head hurt just thinking about this. Like it is definitely a traumatic experience. It was a very traumatic experience. I just knew this was my last breath, my last time saying I love you to my mom, my sister, seeing doing my love, I just knew this was over. I knew my life was over.
It could have been another statistic. You are truly favored.
Yeah.
In the universe, you are favored.
Yeah.
God favored you.
Yeah. I was not supposed to make it out of there. Either I was supposed to die in that accident or I was supposed to get shot by one of those.
How many were there that had their guns drawn?
I can't even remember. It was a good, maybe, I know I saw maybe 8 cars surrounded around me, and it was probably maybe 5 weapons pointed at me that I can remember.
They didn't take you to get medical help.
They didn't take me to get medical help.
They took you straight to the detention center.
To jail.
You were there for a month.
Mm-hmm.
So you not only could have died from
Internal bleeding.
The accident, the, God forbid, if he had to crash that windshield.
Yeah.
With that knife that was open.
I could have got stabbed with the knife.
This is a lot. And I don't know where your mind and your heart is right now, for those of you that are watching this. But if you've got some hard, closed heart, I need you to disconnect right now. Please do me a favor, disconnect and delete, unfollow, unfriend, whatever. Those of you who have a heart, those of you who have any ounce of compassion, any ounce of, oh God, you are not a robot, you're human. You're living, breathing, blood moving, flowing through your veins, flesh, I need you to inbox me now if you know of any resources, if you have anything that will continue to support this young lady who was in the private, she's not in the public, who was clearly violated, was held in no criminal history, right to identify, calm. She was cooperating with these. She was cooperating with them. They have violated her. They've embarrassed her. They've cut off her rights. They have tried to intimidate her. They have retaliated against her. Okay? Then they placed her in it. They didn't know who she was. They didn't know. You've heard her. You've listened to her for over an hour. Brilliant entrepreneur, supporting and helping people heal their body, mind, spirit, and soul all around the world. And this happened to her. It could happen to you. It could happen to your family members. It could, God forbid, but it could. So anybody who has any ounce of a heart, soft, open heart, that's still here with us, I'm asking you to please, anything you know that can help support this individual to get that off of, just get this to get the help that she needs, because she needs some financial compensation for what they did to her. I said it here. And it doesn't matter what they do, it's not enough for what they put her through. Money will not get rid of the anxiety, the fear, the embarrassment, the dishonor that they've done to this young lady. It ain't going to get rid of it. They can't make this right. It's all wrong. I don't care if she jumped out the car and ran around the car naked. I'm just putting it out there. They were wrong what they did. How the whole thing started, ended. And to me, I'm just saying, to me, it sounds like retaliation. It don't even.
I can tell you why it is retaliation, because after they held me in a cell for 24, 48 hours, no food. And finally, they was trying to force me to self-incriminate myself by booking me in their system, but they didn't know who I was. So they was forcing me to In order to get food, in order to do anything, I had to do what they said. In order to call my family, let them know that I was okay, I had to cooperate. They would literally held me in a cold room, no food, no nothing, until I finally cracked. And they took me. They took me into a holding cell, and they took me to a holding cell, and literally Nicholas Higgins walks in.
From October 3rd.
From October 3rd, walks in, and he looks directly at me and does a mischievous grin, like, and starts to celebrate with his check, laughing, giggling, like, he was like, he caught me, like, we did it, and I was so in pain. I was so in pain. My ribs felt like they were caving in. So all I did, I just laid down. And that was, pretty much, not till my family and everybody on the outside was like, get her help. She needs help. Because finally, after they forced me to do everything, to talk to someone, I let them know, my body's starting to, I guess from the adrenaline, I didn't feel how bad everything was. It's like the pain started just with my ribs. I felt like my ribs were broken. And, not till my family member, was calling and, raising, outside, that they finally get me medical help. But they only would allow me to do medical help if I did a psyche evaluation, because they wanted to make me seem like I was crazy. So I had
because their first attempt didn't freaking work. So they decided the second thing, she wasn't violent. That's what they wanted. Okay. They wanted her to be violent first. Secondly, they wanted her to touch that lock instead of keeping her hands up so they could shoot and kill her. I'm saying it. It doesn't, nothing else makes any sense. And now that doesn't work. You want me to crack. That doesn't work. Now you want to have me do a psych eval as if I'm a nutcase because you want to keep me in here.
Yeah. Literally. Yep. And
something else you said they were doing outside that holding cell that I want you to bring out, and then we're going to close because we got to talk to you another time. This is 2 hours, and there's no way we could have cut the corners on this interview at all. This is a special edition. There's no way to cut corners on this at all. In fact, I want to be able to bring you and a young lady that you said that earlier, Nicolian.
Yes.
Together. I would love for y'all to chat with me.
We actually are definitely launching our Mothers of Justice, where we are teaming up to help stop these type of injustices.
So you're the co-founder too.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is gonna be fun. She said she was gonna come back, so I'm gonna call her up. She's gonna come back. Nicolian. So what else happened? You told me this already, and I just remembered it. What else happened outside that holding cell that really threw you off, in addition to everything else they were saying and chanting?
Oh, yes. They, a couple of them would come up and start singing sovereign citizen, like over and over, just mocking me. I'm trying to, invoke my rights, stating y'all have no right to do this. They'll come up, run up to my door, run up to the
these are the policy enforcers, the law enforcement, the police officers acting like children,
mocking me.
Now, is that recorded anywhere, I wonder? You probably deleted it by now. If you can't even make a record of what happened on October 3rd, I have no confidence.
They pulled out my hair. I had maybe 5-6 locks snatched out of my head.
When did that happen? Inside the jail?
Outside and inside. You know, when they slammed me on the ground, it was all the pulling and hair pulling, arm pulling, everything, clothes, you know. And then when I was in there,
As if she committed a crime.
Was just ripping out my hair. Ripping out my hair. My nose started bleeding while I was in there. I'm excuse me, asking for help. And you know, nobody came to help me. They ignored me the whole time.
So that you lay in blood?
Until I consented to do their booking and the psyche evaluation. They let me sit there, nose bleeding, everything.
Like an animal.
Like I'm an animal.
Like a criminal.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop right here. Yeah. You are a soldieress.
Okay.
And probably one of the most strongest individuals I will ever meet. That I can't even, what you went through is unimaginable. You survived.
Okay.
Which means your story needs to get around the world. I know it's going to be an opportunity. It's going to be a challenge for it to get around the world because people don't want to know. They don't want to hear about another one of these.
Right.
They want to keep sweeping it under the carpet and keep tripping over, wondering why it's so high, why this big lump is under the carpet, because they keep trying to make it secret and quiet. So these people who are evil and corrupt can continue to do these things to individuals like this young lady who is not a criminal, who just wants to love on her dog, help people heal, teach children with autism. You know, she's a butterfly, an herbalist, a naturalist, wants to be safe in her home, wants to understand why you're doing something to me. What? I don't get it. What's up? I'm not trying to bother nobody. I'm going to say it again. It could be you. It could be you. It could be your child. In your little pretty rosy world, it could be you. So my prayer is that you will share this podcast. You'll have the conversation at dinner table. You'll have the conversation at your respective companies and churches. You'll have a conversation talking about it. And if you have any resources that will help individuals support, and now I'm not saying she can't do her own. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we need a united front. One of the things I remember Napoleon said is that there was so many of us out lining up for days and weeks for a chicken sandwich. People got killed for that chicken sandwich. You know, this chicken sandwich that was coming out, the spicy chicken, people got killed. But people lined up because of something they believed in, something they wanted. This is something that you should believe in and something you should want is freedom, fairness, justice for yourself, for your children, for your children's children, for your neighbors, your parents, for everybody. So we'll be back. We'll be back soon. I'm going to invite Napoleon to come back, and prayerfully you'll be able to come back as well, because I would love both of you on the same couch. And we'll have the conversation about this. I want to know more about what they plan on doing and what they are doing. Mothers of justice. Are there any closing thoughts that you'd like to share with the audience before we close? If you could do that.
Ignorance of the law excuses no one. Know your rights. You know your rights. That's as simple as I can, put it. Is if you don't know your rights, anyone can take them from you.
Wow.
And that's exactly what they're doing. They're working off our ignorance. They're thriving off our ignorance of self, ignorance of the law. They're thriving off of that.
Wow. Wow. Just that simple.
Just that simple.
And killing people for it.
Murdering.
And falsely arresting, kidnapping,
and
all
false
of that.
imprisonment, treason, bribery, coercion, terrorism, war crimes. That's all of the above. You know, they are in violation of their own oaths, you know, and the reason why they are continuing to thrive off of this is because of our ignorance, because we sit there and we allow it. We don't hold them accountable. You know, the reason why they don't really mess with their folk, you know, unmelanated, is because they do sue them. They go all the way. You know,
that's true.
We don't. We allow it and we just go to bed and go on about our lives. Don't deal with it. We, you know, and we can't continue to do it. The only way to stop this beast is to stand up to it. You know, it's a bully. You know, when you have a bully, you finally stand up, and that bully breaks down. It's time for us to stand. There's no more, you know, screaming and yelling in the streets. Not doing it. You have to know your rights. Wow. And you got to know what hold them accountable. That's the only way we're going to stop this. The only way.
Wow, that's deep. And as she's talking, I'm sitting here remembering two other things that I said we got to go, but I got to point this out. This is important. Is that they also violated your right to be able to defend yourself. It wasn't even on the document, I believe you told me, that pro se was not even there.
Oh, yeah.
And that completely is against your right.
Right.
Appointed attorney, represent yourself. That was pro se, wasn't even on the document. And then what they claim they initially pulled you over for, I cannot, I got to make sure as much of this is covered as possible because this is real stuff. But what they claim they pulled her over for, they didn't even add it to the list of their narrative warrants until 3 weeks?
No, 3-4 weeks afterwards.
3-4 weeks afterwards.
They randomly pulled me out of the holding cell, the confinement.
At 5 o'clock on a Sunday morning.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock
on a Saturday. 4 o'clock on Saturday, they pulled me out and took me into this tribunal style courtroom and added the 14th charge. The 14th charge.
No criminal record, 14 charges. Does that sound like some
defamation of character?
Yeah, I'd say
it's defamation of character. You got someone who has not done anything to no one. I don't hurt, I don't harm, I don't put anybody down, damage anybody's property. I have no record, and they completely defamed my character. And it's all out in the public. It's all where people can pull up that I have a case open with them.
And you pull up your mugshot like you some kind of criminal.
Defamation of character. Yeah. Completely.
We'll be back. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I really
thank you for having
me.
Really
do. See you soon.